Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Today is all about felting. First of all, I've got this month's, so it's February 2024. Is it really 2024? A Maker's Flock box to open. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon making my next postcard for Tori's postcard stitch along. So the prompt for February is Zodiac Mindwarp. This was the one I did for January, which was Cozy It Up. I did a stitched kind of postcard effect on the back. So a couple of people asked if I would show how I did that, and it was the first one I ever did. I found it, touch wood, it wasn't a fluke, but I found it pretty easy and straightforward to do, so I'm quite happy to show how I did that. But first of all, I'm itching to get into the Makers box. Now, the Makers, they're a lovely company. The founder is Steffi Stern. She's a lovely lady, and she designs all of the kits, all of the creations herself, and all of the products that they sell are things that she uses herself and personally recommends, and they're very environmentally friendly. She's inspired by nature. Even their packaging is all environmentally friendly. I just loved everything about the company, and I'm very, very happy to recommend them. They have given me this Maker's Flock subscription. So they do 2 subscription boxes. There's the main Maker's box, which is to make larger items, like I've put my whale right up the top now. You can't see him anymore. My blue whale, you might remember I did. And then last time I did the owl, which I have given away. It was quite hard to part with him. I gave him away to my stepdaughter for her birthday last month because she just loves owls, and she's very happy to adopt him, so he's gone to a good home. So I'm really enjoying I hadn't done much felting before this, but honestly the materials are so lovely and the instructions are so brilliant. It's just really easy, and it feels very natural to do. So I've been really getting into it. I also have been wanting to get into 2D felting, like the postcard, which is why I went that way because Tori's postcard stitch along it can be any kind of stitching. So I'm doing the felting and then I'm stitching into it. And I believe that this month's Maker's box, I've sidetracked myself. I have sidetracked myself. Let's get back on track. I did actually plan what I was going to say, but then I go off on a tangent. So yeah, there's the main Maker's box. I will leave a link to the website so you can look it all up anyway. I think if you, depending on how long you subscribe for, it gets cheaper, but it works out something like £20 plus postage. I think it's about £25 altogether in the UK for the main Maker's box, and it's a really generous box. And when you first subscribe, you get your set of tools. You get your eco-friendly compostable felting mat and all your needles and everything in that first subscription box, and then you get a different project every month, usually 3D but sometimes 2D. The Maker's Flock box, I think when you subscribe that works out £7.90 a month, if I've got that right, and that includes postage, and it's just a little taster, just little samples and things, and you get different discounts every month. It's really, yeah, it's a nice way to put your toe in the water. And also there's a secret flock gathering every month where you can go and watch Steffi talk you through the box, show you a project that you can do with the contents of the box, and yeah, it's really nice. It's a lovely little community, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm so getting into felting. I've had to get a new crate to put in all the extra felting supplies I've bought as well. So Steffi has gifted me the subscription for the Maker's Flock, but I have got a bit tempted as well. So yeah, so let's get in and see what's in this box, and then I'm gonna just show you, not the whole thing because it will take a little while, although it's quicker than you think, but I'll just show you the gist of how I put one of these felted postcards together. Honestly, I bet I just think felting is so much easier than people think it's going to be. Anyway, right, let's shut up waffling and get in here and see what's in this box. Now it's not a surprise with this. You always get a little a few hints about what's going to be in there. I've heard Steffi actually say on videos that she doesn't like surprises, so this isn't a surprise, and if you go on the website you'll be able to see what's going to be in the next box. So I know I'm not going to be doing a spoiler for anyone. Let's go in here. So here, this is telling us what's going to be in the February Makers box. Oh, it's a lamb. Here's the newsletter. Different workshops that they're running. Live streams. They do have a really good YouTube channel with lots of free tutorials as well. So I'll link to that too. All different new kits and stuff. Oh, I did look at some of those new kits. I had to stop myself because I already bought a whole crate full of stuff. I've told myself I must use some of it. I must make time to use some of it before I'm allowed to buy any more. But some of these little new kits are so adorable. Valet black nose lamb. Standing around 25 centimetres tall. These projects in the makers boxes aren't small. The owl was about 40 centimetres tall standing, and the whale was about 40 centimetres long. So yeah, this is a 25 centimetre tall lamb covered in beautiful boucle yarn. Ooh, I love this cheese plant here. Okay, and then there's always a little tutorial on the back here, because they also do, as well as kits, you can also buy instructions as PDFs, and their instructions are really good. This is going to fit in really well with something I've got in my head. Oh, lovely, because all of this felting malarkey is going to fit in really well with some ideas I've had from my colour inspiration journal, and one of them was to make some little daisies to go into a stitched lawn. So yes, okay, put that to one side. Here's the nubbins of the box. Ooh. A note from Steffi. Have you seen the recent magnificent skylines? There have been some beautiful skies. Sunrises, sunsets and stunning landscapes with surprising colour combinations. I don't know if you can see the beautiful colours in that piece. You can make up your own landscapes with a little wool and just a few tips and rules to adhere to. This month you get to try different backgrounds that are suitable for 2D needle felting. How interesting. Landscape pictures don't always have to be big, as they can make lovely cards or decorations. Yeah, you can make tiny, framed in wooden curtain rings. Oh, a lovely idea. To be turned into a little collection and a perfect quick make gift. Oh, February's tutorial, how to make 2D needle felted pictures. It's kind of what I've done. I've just made it up with that postcard, but that is, I just think needle felting feels really instinctive, and with very little experience at all, that postcard just came out right fast. You know, I honestly, it's easier than you think. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so this is all about the tutorial. So the tutorials get shared in the live stream Makers Flock gathering. Then the next day they go on to the YouTube channel, but in the private, it's only Makers Flock members that can see it. And then I think it's sort of 6 months later, some months later, they share them on their YouTube channel generally. So it's worth having a look on that YouTube channel, and you'll see what a lovely lady Steffi is. She so loves it. She loves what she does, and it's obviously hugely important to her to share that with all of her flock. You know, and I can very much relate to that. So Wednesday the 28th of February, I need to put that in mind. I'm trying to keep an electronic diary now. Tom's been helping me get organised for this year, try and schedule my videos a little bit and get my head organised, so I must put that in my diary in a minute. Okay, now every month, as part of the Makers Flock membership, you also get sort of ongoing things like they give you a cloth badge when you first start. And if I go to any of the shows that they're at, there was one in East Anglia, I just can't get to it, but they're going to be there, for example, and if I took my badge there, it would give me a discount off anything I buy when I'm there. There's all sorts of benefits that aren't actually in the box physically, and one of them is this monthly discount. So this month is a different range of products every month. This month, Subs Club collection, 20% off selected items. So this time it's all, this is going to be so tempting, all landscape picture kits, felt sheets, pre-felt and the landscape wool mix. Oh no. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at what we've got in here. Oh, this is beautiful, isn't it? Oh. I need to get tissue out of the way because it always annoys me. Just going to put that to one side. I'm going to be using all these coloured tissues I've been saving for my Matisse prompt for abstractuary. Look at all these different, also this is all the different kind of things you can use to do needle felting on. What a good idea. Ooh. And I love this. See, I mean, they're just samples, but it's quite a nice, they're good, you know, I can actually make a project with this. So you also get each month another one of these little sheep swatches. So this is my third sheep swatch now, and your first kit, when you get that very first box, you get the cloth members badge, you get a book, like a big thick kind of sketchbook to keep all your templates and things like that in. You get a ring that all of these go on to. There are a couple of rolls of washi tape. I can't think now, there are a few bits and pieces in that first box. The first box is quite big. And then you get a different sample every month, so it tells you what it is. You could use this, you know, or you can keep it to refer to, and then you know if you want to order them. Australian sunset tops. It's going to be tempting to use these for landscapes, isn't it? I don't want to take it off and then ruin it. Look at the colours in that. It very much is. Ooh, it's very much sunset, isn't it? How beautiful. I'm just going to dig around and find the swatches now. Here's my two previous little sheep samples. So this one can go on there now. There's my badge that they send in that first box, and the sketchbook. Templates that you get so often that you can print off, and there are other you get another benefit with the Flock membership is that you've got access to different instructions. So when you log in to the makers, you can then access free sets of instructions for different projects. So yeah, it's not everything that you get isn't in the box. There's new PDFs each month, so I haven't seen what it is for this month yet. Let's put those back out of the way. I'm trying to keep my felting supplies into one crate. It just very much is. As soon as I started doing it, I dabbled over the years. For some reason. Well, I don't think it's no mystery at all. It's partly that these products from the makers are just really nice to use, and I genuinely believe that the better quality products you use with this kind of thing, the better results you're going to get. And also the instructions that Steffi gives are so good, and of course you learn with each project, and then all the things you learn through following those instructions, you can then create your own designs and things as well, or not. You know, you can just enjoy the kits and just follow it. Sometimes it's relaxing just to follow instructions, and of course they always with something that's kind of quite organic like felting. Even if you are following instructions, they all come out so different. So there we go, that's my little growing flock of sheep there. Let's have a better look at what's in the box now. Somewhere here there will probably be a list of a description of what's in here. Here we go. We have got 10 by 15 wool viscose felt. I think that must be that. It feels nice. It's quite thin and it's very soft. Felt such a lot, doesn't it? And how in the feel of it. It's a nice feel. And then this must be, and then the next one says 10 by 15 Hessian. Then 10 by 15 white pre-felt. I expect Steffi will explain what that means. It kind of feels like it's not as firmly felted as that. I can imagine that will be lovely to work into. And this is going to be one of the things you can get 20% off. So if I really enjoy using this, I might be tempted. Dragon Mix Wool Bats. So this is Dragon Mix. Extra 3 squares of Tomte. I don't know if you say it Tomte fabric. Oh, look. So it's like a fabric with this printed on, and I guess you can felt straight into this. I am so going to have to try that. What a lovely little, put that as Steffi suggests, put that in, frame that in a little curtain ring or something, or a little mini. What a lovely little gift that would make. Oh, what? I'm going to enjoy this. And it's so lovely that just as I was sort of thinking, right, I really want to get into trying some 2D felting with stitching into it and beading onto it and stuff. Then Tori's stitch along postcard project came up, so she's giving a different prompt to it every month of the year, and I thought, well, that's perfect, I can do some 2D felting for that each time. And now this box is doing, so I'm going to have to check out, because 20% off is quite good. But that's the great thing, I can use these things, see which I like, and then in fact I might even use one of these for my postcard this time. It's not quite postcard size, but what I used last time was just a piece of normal kind of wool mix felt that I've got, so probably the same as that. So really I've probably already got some similar to this, but I might be tempted to get hold of some of that. So that is the contents of the Maker's Box. I will be back after we've had the live tutorial with Steffi and show you whatever we do with this. I'm so itching to have a play with those goodies. But right now I'm going to put all of this away, and I'm going to bring out some colours and things ready to do my postcard for this month. So it's Zodiac Mindwarp, and I'm thinking of kind of a nighttime scene. I'm just picturing a redhead hippie chick meditating with a night sky above her. That's my Zodiac Mindwarp picture. So I'm just going to dig out the right colours for that in a minute, and I'll be back. Right, I've dug out I think everything I'm going to need. So this is the little piece of felt I've cut. I've decided I'll save the samples that are in there. I'll save the Maker's Flock box all together until I've seen Steffi's tutorial. I think it's not as if I haven't got plenty else to be playing with. So this is very similar to the wool Vicose mix that's in the flock box, just a different colour. It's exactly the same one I used last time, and I've just cut it to fit. I'm actually using this to draw around to get roughly a postcard shape size. And then for my backgrounds, I'm going to do it this way up this time, and I'm going to have my meditating hippie chick here with the night sky above her. There's not a lot of room. I think I can make it work. And then so for the kind of night sky, I've got a background. I'm going to mix together these shades of blue and the black. These were just leftovers from a previous box, maybe the whale. Don't know where this came out of one of my colour packs that I bought. And then for her clothes and hair and things, these are some of the things that I've started accumulating in my felting crate. So this might be a good excuse to use, a good opportunity to use some of this pack. So this is a bit different, this one. Nearly all of the felting material that they sell is wool. There are some synthetics, I'll show you an example in a second, and then there's this which is silk. So it's sari silk. It says beautiful fibre, ideal for adding richness and depth, mixed with a bit of wool to make it easier to felt, and I think that's probably a really good tip. It's not going to felt together as readily. It feels really beautiful, and look at the lovely colours in it. So I think for my hippie chick's clothing or hair even, that could be really fun, or even perhaps going a bit through the night sky. I haven't decided yet. I'm not going to overthink it. I'll with this lady, I just kind of had a very vague idea of a woman all wrapped up out for a walk in the cold. And I just let it make itself up as it went along, really. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Not much of a plan, really. And then this I thought would be really nice to use. Wool roving tops. This is the Flower Garden mixture. Just worth being aware. You've got like 25 grams, 20 grams. Doesn't sound a lot, does it? But especially once you release them from the bag, this is an awful lot. And I just love the colours in here. Look at these colours. Perfect for my hippie chick. And then my plan, such as it is, will be to add some beads and things to her later on, and some twinkles in the sky. Also to add to the night sky. So this is an example of when it's not always wool, because you do not get sparkly sheep, not as far as I know. So these have come, you can see it's come in a previous Maker's Flock box. It's one of these samples. And I haven't found. Oh no, hang on, no, these were from the samples. And I made my angels, my felt angels, but didn't, or my no felt angels actually, but didn't use all of it. So I did think it might be that a little bit of this, if I want some wisps of white. The camera is not liking that. It's very pretty in real life. So I might want some wisps of that. And then this actually came in a lucky dip bag. So when they had their sale on their rainbow weekend, they had, I think it was £10 and £20 lucky dip bags. I have done an opening of that previously. I thought some of this through the night sky. It's kind of, I don't know how well it will show on camera, but it's kind of a smoky bluish grey with this beautiful twinkle running through it. Absolutely gorgeous. So if I can add some of that to my night sky, I think that would be fab. I haven't finished it. Then for her hair, I've left them in these big bags because I just want to show you what pack they come from. So this was the Enchanted Wool Mix. I got all of these when they were on the special. Or when they were part of the discount for the Maker's Flock subscription. Okay, look at this, it's only 80 grams, but look how much you get, and once you've opened the bag you can never get them all back in again. So I'm not necessarily going to do an Enchanted Forest, but I just loved the mixture of colours and textures in here. They've got some of these lovely crinkly ones. There isn't a crinkly orange one, but I thought a mixture of this, which isn't a flat orange, it's got like several shades in there. It's like a red, a yellow and an orange in there, and possibly mixed with a little bit of this as well to make her hair. So I'll keep them out. I'll put the rest of this bag away now. And then for her skin, I'm going to use some of this. I got this cappuccino wool mix because I thought it would be good for all different skin tones, and also for different animals as well, so, and hair. So what colour do you want to make her? Let's give this hippie chick a bit darker skin tone. Let's have a lump of that. I won't need as much as I've got out here. Nothing like as much. You can do this kind of 2D things that don't really take up very much at all. And then all the rest of what I'm going to need is my tools. So this is an example of the miniature version of the little eco-friendly compostable felting mat that they put in with the mini kits, which I think is really cute. Here's the pack of needles that you get in that first kit. Somewhere here I've got a pack of the special needles we got last month. Special needles, like a reverse needle. Very interesting to try. Oh, some of those beads, those are left over from my whale. I can probably use them in this project. And then I've got my different, this is a really handy thing, not so much for my 2D. I'll show you what that is as and when I use it. It's probably the best thing. This is the full size compostable felting mat that you get in your first subscription box. That'll go on for a good bit longer yet, I think, but once it has given up the ghost, you can just throw it in the compost, which is good to know. So oh yeah, these were the special needles we've got in last month's box. It's a special, I've forgotten the names of them now, I've written them down. Twisty one, and one where it works in reverse. Yeah, fascinating all these do. I had no idea. This is another thing from a previous box. This is another felting thing. You can use one of these kind of upside down brushes. Maybe I'll try that this time, because I haven't tried it very much. You can see. Maybe I'll try it with this, see how I go. Okay, so the first thing I need to do to make my little postcard is to give myself a background. It's not really quite big enough. See, this is almost exactly the right size. I'm going to try this a little bit later. Green is fine. White is coarse. Orange is medium. I seem to have lost one of the medium ones. I'll put it somewhere. I tend to start off with the fairly obviously start off with the coarse ones and work down towards the fine ones really. And then I've also got the couple of different kinds of multi-needle tools that I could use as well. Okay, so I'm going to get my night sky down first, and I think what I'll do is start with the black. I don't want a completely black background, because the night sky isn't really completely black, is it? But just want to not have this showing through. And you can mix the two colours by, so if I take a small bit of this and a small bit of that, you can kind of mix the colours. I think I'll also mix them by blending them on the thing as well, but let's just mix it up a little bit first. And there are loads of really helpful tutorials on their YouTube channel and on the website. So I have kind of just mixed these together by gently pulling them apart over and over until they're sort of semi-blended. Black isn't going to be great for my camera, so it'll be better once I get onto the coloured bits. And then it's a simple matter of laying them down. Initially I'm just going to cover the background, and then I'm going to add all my fun parts. So I'll go in with a coarse needle to start with, and I just tend to do that to tack things into place. And then if I'm doing a big area like this, I'll bring out the big guns, because it's a lot faster. So I should always leave this locked, and I don't. You should turn it like that, and then this won't accidentally let you prick yourself. But anyway, so this is just using 5 needles all at the same time, and you can change these needles, but I've never actually used this enough to have to change a needle, so I don't actually know how you do it. So yeah, I will just start by tacking it roughly into place, and I don't need too much of it. I haven't got to have a great big thick layer of this. I just want to cover it, more or less. If a few odd wisps of blue show through, it won't really matter. Now it's a bit annoying, that's not going to show too well on the camera. That's a better idea of how it's looking to me. Once I've roughly tacked it down, I'll get my multi-needle tool, and then I can just very quickly felt it down all over. I'm just working 5 times as fast because I've got 5 needles. So I'm going to do that all over. I'm not going to bore you with that. I will just cover that, and then I will come back to you when I'm ready to do the next exciting thing. I may add in a few wisps of this lighter blue as well, but I think I just want to get it covered with this more or less to start with. Well, I've got to remember I'm working in this orientation this time, so I've already gone wrong. I may still be able to, yes, I can still carefully take that off, okay, because I really want the fibres to be laying in the right direction from the start. Pretty much cover my background. It's not all felted down properly, but it's all kind of spread out as I want it to be. I'm just going to add in some little lighter wisps now here and there. Bearing in mind my figure's going to be here, so there's no point in me doing too much down here. And then I have still got this stuff to use, but I don't know if that might end up being better going on afterwards. I've not used it yet. Do love it. I kind of feel like it might work better if it's kind of felted in at this stage, maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to try that. I can always add more later if I want to. I think a little of it's going to go a really long way. Without all of this down, I might need to put wisps of other colours over the top of the look of it to make this stay put. Lovely, it's a very pretty effect. It's quite hard to show on camera, but... And then these edges, as I go along now, I'll just sort of tidy up the edges a little bit, but I can just trim them. What I did with this one was, once I was finished, I trimmed off any really higgledy-piggledy bits and did the blanket stitch. If I've got any really long, like there, I'll just bring that in and felt it down. And now it's time to start building up my little hippie chick. Yeah, that's more how it looks to me. That's more what I had in my head. So I'm just going to pull off a little, this is going to be her skin tone. Don't need too much, that's probably enough to start with. As I say, I can always add more. And I'm just sort of tucking it in like that to make a roughly oval shape for her little face. Putting it where I want it to be. Use my coarse needle to start with, and again just sort of tacking it into place. So I'm just sort of coaxing this into shape. I don't want it to spread out too far, so I'm sort of tacking the edges down first, because if I start going in here it's going to all spread out. And this is literally the second time I've done this, so I reckon if I can do it, anyone can. I can always need to keep lifting it off as well, because it will felt itself into the mat too. I can always add more background colour in as well to tidy up the edges, or if I go too far out. So it is such a forgiving craft, this, honestly. And as I say, having the nice quality products does mean that they just work so well. The whole process is just really nice, really enjoyable. They felt quite nice and quickly, so that's really quite loose and squishy now, so I'm going to start firming her up a little bit. And as I say, I'm no expert, but my instinct is to want to kind of go all around, not work in one area, but to keep going all around first to try and keep that shape nice. I kind of imagined her with less of a round face than that, but that's fine. She's come out with a round face. I'm not going to worry about it. So now I'm going to work my way all around again. Oh, I know what to swap to a less coarse needle now. There we go. So it's come out sort of quite a bit flatter now, but I probably will add some more bulk to her cheeks and things as I go along. So the next thing I want to do is give her a little nose. So I'm just putting off quite a small wisp of this. In fact, even less than that. So I can always add more. I'm just sort of going to form it into roughly a nose shape. And what I'm aiming to do here is just round off that bottom edge, but leave that top edge wispy, because that's where it will merge into the face. I might need to add to it, but that'll do to start me off. Just tuck it down roughly. So bearing in mind that with the face, the eyes are about halfway up, and the bottom of the nose is about halfway between the eyes and the chin. The top of the nose is going to be level with where the eyes are, so it's about there. And that wispy bit is where I can attach it into the rest of the face. That's the beginnings of the nose on. Now I'm going to go back to my coarse needle, and I'm going to decide where the eyes are going to be. So those are a bit further apart than they would be if you were being realistic, but I'm not being realistic. I think it's starting to have a little shape face now. So where I've done that, I'm just going to really reinforce where that eye is, and later on I should be stitching beads into there. I think I'll try stitching beads in this time. Last time I did it with, I just did tiny little balls of felt and felted them in, but I think I want to try. Oh, I could just have closed eyes, actually thinking about it as she's meditating. Well, I've made the holes now. I might stitch the beads in and then do eyelids half closed over the top. You see, I'm just letting it happen as it wants to. So now, to give her face a little bit more shape, I'm just going to take 2 little wisps of the wool. So I'm going to take one piece and divide it roughly in half, so they both end up around the same size. And I'm just going to add a bit more bulk to where the cheek would be, to shape the cheek a bit. So if you think about the face like in profile, you've got a bit of a raised area where the cheeks are, you've got a bit of a raised area where the chin is and where the nose is. So you don't want to kind of felt in for the eyes and in for the mouth and lose the shape of the face. So I'm going to build up this shape of the face here a little bit, where the mouth's going to go, and I'm going to build up the cheeks here. And I find that if I put a bit more than I wanted to, I can usually pull a little bit off, or I can add a bit more on, or just felt into it more to squish it down. You know, as I say, it's very forgiving. Okay, so I'm going to carry on shaping his face, and then when I come back to start on the hair and do the mouth and the clothes, I'll come back. I've actually bought some purplings. I've decided her main body's going to be made of purple with some of these over the top. So these are where you get this stuff that's kind of more fuzzy looking and all the fibres are all in different directions. This is bats, this is wool bats, and they kind of felt together more easily. But if you want a smooth, like a smooth kind of finishing top coat, you want these, which are tops, which are also called roving. And they've got, you can see the fibres all kind of in this, lying in the same direction. You get that nice smooth kind of top coat. So I'm going to use this for the top coat for her dress or whatever she's wearing, but I'm going to use this for the underneath bit. But before I do that, I've got my shape of my face as much as I want to, certainly at this stage. I might do some more finessing later on, and I might add a little bit of colour to the cheeks. I did it with a bit of pastel or something last time, just to give her rosy cheeks in those. Really not showing up very well on the camera. It's a bit better. So I'm just going to take a tiny little wisp of this, even tinier than that, and sort of twizzle it together. And I just want to make her a sort of kind of relaxed, wide, smiley mouth. Take my time with this because I want quite an accurate line with this. And I might end up, once I've done it, what I did with this one was once I'd put her mouth on, I ended up then putting an extra little tiny bit of the skin tone colour over the top to give the shape to her top lip. Again, it depends on how it ends up looking and how fussy I'm feeling. I'll just play that by ear. But now you can put a little extra piece on the forehead, on the cheekbones, on the chin, above here, just to give the face a bit of shape. At the moment it's not looking too bad. There, she looks like a happy hippie chick now. So I'm just going to take off a little piece of this to make the sort of foundation of her garment. Just leaving a flattish shape, roughly fold it into the shape I want. Pop it down like that. Shall I try this brush just out of curiosity? She's just calling to me now and telling me that she wants a bit of cleavage. Just roughly give her a little bit of neck and then spread out into a bit of a cleavage. So you see what I mean? You can totally make it up as you're going along. Oh, it feels really different going into this brush one now. What I might do, because it's not going to be open all the way down. Let's turn this into her bosom, and then I'll build the top around it. So I'll sort of divide it down the middle there and turn that into yeah, so it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that with a bit of cleavage. So I'm going to carry on working on this, and then I'll be coming to the hair and I'll be back. Do some more felting a bit later to smooth it all out and everything, but I've got to add some colour on yet. I've given her a little bit of a indication of cleavage and she was looking a bit flat there, so I've just rolled up a little tiny ball of the wool, and I'm just giving her a bit more chin. So I think that's enough on her face for now. I'm going to start adding some colour into her top, and I'm going to put her hair on. So just look at the colours in this beautiful flower garden. I can't even decide just going to put, I think, just little wisps of it to create an indication of some kind of a pattern on her top. So a little bit of this lovely flower garden tops does go a very long way. And then I just want to bring back the line between where her arm and her torso are, and you can create a line just by going into the same bit over and over again like that. There we go, I'm fairly happy with that little shape that I've got going on now. So now it's time to add the hair. So I used very little of that flower garden tops in the end. Oh, I completely forgot about the sari silk. Maybe I'll bring it into her hair instead. Okay, gotta try a bit. Feels beautiful, that does. Okay, so for the hair, I was going to use some of this kind of mottled orange out of the Enchanted Forest mix. So this is Bats. So I think for the sort of top coat of the hair, I want a smoother look. So I probably will bring maybe a bit more of tops in, and some of my sari silk. I think that'd be nice. So I'm just going to get the rough shape of where the hair is going to be. I'm going to use some of this stuff as well. You can see she's taking shape now. I'm letting her go her own sweet way a little bit. I need to just add a little bit more. I've got a bit of a gap there. I want to add a little bit more of the hair very carefully in there. And where I've tried to shape the nose, what I've done is flatten out the middle of the face too much now, so it's all gone a bit flat. So I'm going to build that up a little bit more, just by adding tiny wisps of the wool, just sort of rolled up. I'm only going to put one eye in because I'm going to leave this fringe going over one eye because I quite like that. And I'm not going to felt this down completely. I'm going to hope it will stay like that because it just looks so luscious like that. So I'm going to do a little bit more work on that hair, and then I'm going to come back and just do some wispy bits in the sky, and then a lot of it's going to be about just adding twinkles. I'm going to use those I've lost them now, beads I had left from the whale kit because I had loads of beads. So I reckon some of these, because it was a nice variety, some of these nice blue beads stitched into the sky will give a nice subtle twinkle. And then as I put more wisps over it, it'll help to catch all of this down and make sure it stays put. I want the wisps to look as if they're kind of coming out of her head, as if she's meditating. It's kind of making sense to me. So I'm going to work on this face and things a little bit more now, and then I'll come back and show you how she's looking. I don't think it's going to be anything new now, except for the stitching in of the beads and things, which I shall do downstairs this evening. So I'm just going to finesse this a little bit now, really. So I don't think I need to show you anymore, but I'll come back and show you how she looks in a bit. The whole thing has only taken me about an hour. It's really not that, it's not too long-winded, so that's good. Just going to put some wisps in the sky now, so I thought I'd just show you how I do that. So I've got this, so use that a little bit. I've got this lovely sort of shiny stuff, but it won't stay felted too well by itself, so I'm just going to mix it in with a little bit of this smooth tops. I just want it to look kind of twinkly misty. I'm just sort of gently pulling them apart, putting them back together, pulling them apart to sort of mix them without losing the length too much. This is the stuff we had in the flock box before Christmas to make the non-felted angels with. Mix the two fibres together really, and that's way more than I need. So I'm thinking I just want it to look like she's meditating and she's got these wispy ideas coming out her head, and then I can always put a bit more of the blue over the top to knock it back a little bit if I need to. You kind of see where I'm going with that. I'm just going to build up her face a little bit here and there, add a little bit of colour with some pastels, sew a bead in for her eye, stitch some of those blue beads around, and I think I'm going to give her some kind of colourful strings of beads here. And I've got a couple of I've got hundreds of jump rings. I'm going to use a couple of jump rings to give her some hoopy earrings. But that's all going to take me a little while. The stitching, if it's like last time, the stitching will take me way longer than the felting did. The felting's been really relatively short. And I just need to tidy up around the edges, do a blanket stitch, and I need to do my bit for the back, which again took me longer than all the rest of it put together. I will carry on, finish that off this evening, and take a picture and share it in the Facebook group and the Discord community. And if I get my act together in time, I'll put a photo on the end of this video as well. But I think I've probably gone on for quite long enough for now, and hopefully it's given you enough of an idea of how to do this. It's just jump in and have a go. It's really fun, and whatever you do, if you're not quite happy with how it's coming out, you can just add a bit, take a bit off, you know. Yeah, it's really, I'm loving it. It's definitely a new obsession, this felting business. So I will say goodbye for now. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again really soon.